if you want to be a successful fighter, you don't want to waste too much time taunting your opponent. It'll come back and bite you in the end. My second brother was the most feared guy in town. This I know because the guy that I thought was the most feared guy in town once came to me and he said, yeah, he said, we were sitting I get along well with all these people. We're sitting there at the wedding and something started happening. All of a sudden your brother got up and I just said, ooh, back out of this. And I was like, oh my gosh, I thought Dave was the most feared guy in town. He was a scrapper. I've seen him go. But it turns out Dave has, if not fear, which I think I saw, at least has great respect for my second brother's fighting abilities. I was once at Castle Farms, and I was just walking along, you know, at a concert. You know, outside of Charlevoix, Castle Farms used to be a great rock show, and through the 80s, 90s, something like that. It was the old property of the Leopold and Loeb family. One of those, I think the Loebs owned it. You know, the movie with Orson Welles. It's called Compulsion, and it's about those two rich kids that thought they were smarter than everybody else and they could get away with anything they wanted because they were rich, and they killed a bum once, and then they came up to the scene and tried to help the cops, tell them, yeah, we saw this, we saw that. They were just playing the game, but they got caught. Well, they ended up selling it, and it became a rock concert place, an outdoor amphitheater, very great place. That might be why I like outdoor amphitheaters so much. When I was walking around in the parking lot before the shows start, that's where the party is. You get to meet everybody in northern Michigan. You see people from one concert to the next from other towns. They come from all over, and it's a pretty neat experience to be a part of that. They don't have concerts anymore. They don't want everybody getting too close. And I'm walking around the parking lot, and somebody says, hey, Judas, it's your brother. I said, what the hell's going on? And I looked, and there was a mob of people crowded in a circle like it is, you know, like Clint Eastwood shit bare knuckle boxing, except it's my brother, my second brother. I come peeking in there, and he's got a guy on the ground. He's just beating the shit out of him. And holy fuck, there he goes. You know, that's fighting technique right there. And afterwards, this guy just laying there, everybody disperses, and I went up to him, I said, hold on. I said, what'd you do that for? And he said, I just wanted to see somebody bleed. Evidently, he just grabbed some guy that was walking by and started beating the shit at him. Get them before they get you. That's the second brother fighting technique right there. He just wanted to see somebody bleed. And so there are other instances. You want to know how to fight like that? I saw him in the Tough Man competition in Sheboygan County Fair the one time. My oldest brother, the one that I love that loves me, he and I and his friend Paul, we went to watch my second brother in the Tough Man competition at the Sheboygan County Fair. And he's up there. And this Tough Man competition, you had to kick at least a certain amount of times, and you could punch. And, it, you know, pretty much, there's my second brother. He gets to show all of northern Michigan who's the toughest motherfucker this side of the Pecos, or at least the Sturgeon River. And he's up there, and the fight starts, and there's very little that goes on, and boom, that guy punches him right in the bread basket. And my second brother went over, he's like, oh, the toughest guy in the region has no fucking abs. He's just flat. I don't know why he didn't get any abs, but he's got one of those flat stomachs, and he just went right down. And it's like, oh, that doesn't fall into the fighting technique. I hope you learn from that. And then after he used to taunt these two kids from Vanderbilt, and I've told you, you don't want to spend too much time screwing around Vanderbilt. The Brab brothers. They were twins. They were short. They were short, squat things. And I think he hated them because I was short and he hated me. So he was doing a transference thing. He used to pick on them incessantly. The Brab brothers, twins. Two short guys. Little stocky fuckers. Just two of them. And I knew that he screwed with them. And the one time I saw him coming up to the house at my parents', you know, where we all lived. And he's just going real slow. And it's a non-posted country road, which makes it a 50-mile-an-hour zone. And he's doing about 10 miles an hour. And they're the two Brab brothers trying to get home to Vanderbilt. It's 7 miles up our road and down 27. And they're behind him in the car, and they're trying to get around, and he's just going, woo, woo, woo. He wouldn't let him pass, and he just slowly drove them at least a mile up to Grandpa's before coming back, letting them go. I guess he didn't want to go all the way to Vanderbilt at 10 miles an hour. We've done that in a damn funeral procession. It takes forever. Never bury your people in the St. Mary's fucking cemetery out by Vanderbilt. That damn funeral procession, 10 miles an hour, my ass. And so he came back. I'm like, what the hell you doing? He said, those little pricks. He was just fucking with him. He wouldn't let him pass. Saw him behind him. And here's the second brother fighting technique, the one that I say. We can learn from our mistakes, his mistakes. You don't taunt people too long if you're going to beat the shit out of them. It just gives them too much time to think. Because it was shortly after that, he came home from the gas station one day, and he was all beat to fuck. His face was all puffed up, and he's, argh. And it's like, holy shit, second brother, what happened? Oh, my fighting techniques were weak. I taunted for too long. He didn't say any of this, but I'm implying if he learned anything from it, it was that. Because he stopped at Best gas station down the road. It's a Speedway now. And he was getting gas. And here come the two Brab brothers. They got out with baseball bats, both of them, and beat the living fuck out of them right there in the gas station. You get what you got coming. That's the second brother fighting technique. So, if you want to know how to fight, be the toughest guy in the room and still get the shit kicked out of you, well, I can sell you a fucking program. It's the second brother fighting technique.